You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Tuesday, February 10th. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
And I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story. Today in Washington, a pivotal hearing on Capitol Hill about the role and conduct of ICE and Border Patrol in Minneapolis and across the country. Jonah Kaplan has the update. You'll also hear from the head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Todd Lyons.
This is the first time since the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy that the heads of the three key agencies are testifying. So we're talking about Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol, and the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service. All three agencies falling under the Department of Homeland Security. And as you might expect, political fault lines very apparent. Republicans on the committee asking the leaders about the role of protesters antagonizing the agents, threatening the agents, and the rhetoric and decision-making of local leaders. Democrats on the committee grilling the witnesses about the agents' conduct and their training. The witnesses all refusing to answer questions about the shooting, citing ongoing investigations. But they did say that things have calmed down in Minneapolis, and they credited the arrival of border czar Tom Homan.
We've seen a de-escalation in the fact that the protests, while they still go on, have subsided, and ICE has been allowed to do their targeted, intelligence-driven enforcement operation. Just the other night, local authorities arrested 54 protesters at the local level where ICE officers did not have to be engaged in that.
And that brings us to number two, Johnny.
Yeah, Maria, today Governor Tim Walz talked about those real-time economic impacts of the federal surge in this state. He went to Malcolm Yards, which is a food hall near the University of Minnesota. The governor addressed the media along with the owner and operator of Malcolm Yards, Patty Wall.
We should have the 4 employees that would be working this kitchen be working here. They're not, which the trickle-down effect of that is, how do they make rent? How do they pay for food? How do they do the things they need to do?
Since the start of Operation Metro Surge, many restaurants have experienced sales declines of 50 to 80%. Staffing has been severely disrupted, either because legal workers are afraid to travel to work for fear of being falsely detained, or because reduced customer traffic has forced businesses to cut hours. Private events have been canceled or postponed, and many establishments have shortened operating hours simply to manage the drop in demand.
Esme Murphy was also at that press conference, and she has more on what the governor said when it comes to the drawdown of federal agents in our state.
It was here that Governor Walz announced that he believes Operation Metro Surge could be drawn down in a matter of days, not weeks or months. The governor sounded that optimistic note after speaking with Susie Wiles, who is President Trump's chief of staff, and also with Tom Homan, who is the head of Operation Metro Surge. He replaced Greg Bavino, who has been very, very controversial. The governor did note, of course, the mercurial nature of the president, saying that the president has been known to change his mind, even saying one thing within a few hours and then rolling it back just hours later. But the governor said that he is hoping to hear an announcement about a drawdown and an end to Operation Metro Surge from Tom Homan sometime this week.
Number three. We're learning that a 25-year-old Minneapolis man died earlier this month in an incident at Welch Village ski and snowboard area in Welch, Minnesota. Peter Zatalis, the Welch Village's president and general manager, confirmed today that a heartbreaking fatality happened on the evening of February 1st. Zatalis said in a statement to WCCO, quote, "We extend our deepest sympathy to his family, friends, and loved ones. We are grateful to our ski patrol, mountain staff, and emergency services for their swift response." According to the obituary posted online Friday by Washburn McCreevy Funeral Chapel's Northeast Chapel, the victim is 25-year-old Walker Phoenix Nelson. He is the son of Amy Phoenix, who works at the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. Nelson was a University of Oregon graduate who went on to be marketing director at Skyway Theater in downtown Minneapolis, where he also was a DJ, according to his obituary. His obituary reads in part, quote, "He was comfortable in every room. He was quick to make friends and slow to let them go. He greeted everyone he loved with the biggest hug, and we are so proud of him and so lucky to have known him." WCCO has reached out to the Red Wing Fire Department for more information on the circumstances of Nelson's death.
Number 4, we have a new update to a story we first told you about yesterday. Police say 22-year-old Hallie Tobler, the daughter of Republican gubernatorial candidate Jeff Johnson, was found dead Friday night inside her apartment. The medical examiner says she died from multiple stab wounds. Her husband, 23-year-old Dylan Tobler, is now charged with second-degree murder. Investigators say he had life-threatening injuries believed to be self-inflicted and is now being held in the Stearns County Jail after being released from the hospital. According to the criminal complaint, a concerned friend went to the apartment after not hearing from Hallie for several days. Then she called 911 after finding her dead. In a statement, the Minnesota Republican Party says Jeff Johnson has suspended his campaign, quote, out of respect for his family and the enormity of this loss. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is assisting with the investigation. Authorities are asking anyone with information to contact St. Cloud Police. Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Cloudy skies as we head into tonight, down to 23. Winds will relax. More sun on tap for tomorrow with a high in the mid-30s.
And now, here's more to know.
Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman says he'll return to the Capitol February 17th for the start of the 2026 legislative session. This is just months after surviving last year's targeted shooting at his Champlin home. In a recent interview with WCCO, Hoffman said he and his wife were shot a combined 17 times, and that recovery for both of them is ongoing and not linear. But he says he remains committed to public service and plans to stay engaged in the work. In a statement announcing his return, the Champlin Democrat thanked supporters across Minnesota and said the experience gave him renewed purpose. Hoffman, who chairs the Senate Human Services Committee, says he plans to resume full duties, including oversight of Medicaid integrity, provider payments, and protections to ensure continuity of care for seniors, people with disabilities, and families. He also emphasized the bipartisan support he received during his recovery, calling for cooperation and steady leadership as lawmakers head back to session. Vance Belter faces federal murder, stalking, and firearms charges for shooting the Hoffmans and killing former DFL House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, who were shot dead at their Brooklyn Park, Minnesota home 90 minutes later in the early morning hours of June 14th, 2025.
We're following a developing story in Burnsville. Police say around 10:30 last night, they got a report of a shooting at Glen Apartments in the area of 13,000 Harriet Avenue South. They say a 14-year-old boy was found in the lobby area and was transported to HCMC, where he later died. Police say no arrests have been made, but do not believe the shooting was random. A shelter-in-place order was given to the surrounding area. Police said that was for the safety of the nearby community. That shelter-in-place order was lifted later during the night.
A man convicted of straw purchasing dozens of guns, some tied to violent crimes across the metro, is headed to prison. That includes the killings of 2 young girls, Trinity Ottoson Smith and Anaya Allen, back in 2021. William Burton has been sentenced to nearly 3 years behind bars, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Straw purchasing guns includes illegally buying guns for someone who's not allowed to have one. Charges say Burton bought 43 firearms between November 2019 and August of 2020. By April of 2025, investigators say 17 of those guns had been found under circumstances associated with criminal activity.
A major Minnesota-based company is making moves to combat complaints. Target says it's going to add more staff to its stores to improve the customer experience. To do that, the company will cut about 500 jobs at offices and distribution centers. Target says that's 0.1% of the workforce. The change comes after Target announced it would eliminate around 1,800 corporate positions last fall.
Any day now, the Senate may vote to lift a 20-year ban on mining near Minnesota's Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. The House passed the bill last month. If it clears the Senate, it would fast-track the opening of a Chilean-owned copper mine near the Boundary Waters. Those who support the project say it'll bring hundreds of jobs, pump billions of dollars into the regional economy, and make the U.S. less dependent on other nations for the vital minerals. Those against the project say this type of mining has never been done safely and will only pollute the boundary waters. This vote is planned for sometime this week. We'll be keeping an eye on the Senate and update you as soon as we learn more.
Maria, let's get to sports. Huge matchup for the USA women's hockey team today. They play Canada,
our neighbors to the north.
It's an afternoon matchup, so we do not have the results as of this recording. But get this. So far, the USA women's team, they have outscored 3 opponents 15-1. They're coming off a 5-0 win over Switzerland yesterday. And Minnesotan Taylor Heisey, she was the only Minnesotan on the score sheet with an assist, but she's also a Frost player.
Yeah, exactly. We did just learn that Canada's team captain will not be playing because she was injured in her game, the Canadians' game against Czechia last night. Not exactly sure what the injury is, but I don't know. Maybe that'll impact them either way. Go USA.
Go USA. And let's get to the men's side. They begin with a matchup versus Latvia on Thursday. And get this, the Wild, we know they have 2 goalies in the Olympics, both playing for Sweden, Jesper Wallstedt and Philip Gustafsson. They're there trying to do what they've done this year for the Wild. And get this, Gustafsson says it's a testament to their play with Minnesota this year.
It just shows how good we've been playing here and the team we have in front of us to perform the way we have, and you know, it's going to be super fun to play with them there.
So we'll see who gets the start tomorrow, but Sweden plays Italy tomorrow in their first matchup.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. It is so cool to have Minnesotans who we think are Minnesotans because they're playing for our teams. But, you know, they're truly from other countries and playing for their home country.
Yeah, Wild players are going to be going head-to-head with all these different countries there. It's pretty cool.
Really cool.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
It's an incredible story of survival for a little dog who fought back against the odds.
We were just not hopeful that he was going to survive those conditions.
That was Deanne Sherman, the person who found the Chihuahua Pomeranian named Peanut, who, get this, made it through 20 days of bitter Fargo, North Dakota cold. That's crazy. And the worst of it was that oftentimes it was a wind chill of below 50 to 60 degrees, below zero.
That is insane. And I'm excited for you to tell us how that happened.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. The community members who helped rescue Peanut, well, they think he had some extra help staying warm.
There was 20 bunnies out in the lot where he was running when we were getting him, and he was warm. He found warmth. There was always a bunny next to him whenever we would see him.
Isn't that funny? So he was just hanging out with the bunnies.
The bunnies were keeping him warm, just like good humanitarians, you know?
I know, yes. And he's like the same size as a bunny, too, a little Chihuahua Pomeranian. Yeah, I mean, the owner, Peanut's owner, says besides being a little thin, he's perfectly fine.
Just need some peanuts. Bulk back up.
Bulk back up, yeah. Stayed warm with the bunnies. See, my Chihuahua would just probably be... She'd probably not be very thin because she would be eating those bunnies. She loves chasing them.
That's some irony.
I know. That's funny. Oh, man. Well, on that note, thanks for joining us here on 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.